Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spoilers, obviously.
Spoilers, obviously.
I'm your host, Joel, and with us, Moses Moon.
That's me, everybody. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm feeling good today.
That's awesome.
But I feel like we're gonna sour my mood with our conversation.
Well, that is the whole point of the podcast, and specifically our subject is to find a way how to sour your mood.
Ah, fantastic. Now that I know the meta behind it all makes sense.
I
Thanks.
hired Marvel to do this show specifically to ruin your mood.
To piss me off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow. Well, apparently you done did good. I hope you're getting you're not getting paid for this. You're
Oh,
paying
no.
them, so I hope.
Yeah. No, but one of the things that I definitely was successful with is Rings of Power. They actually did it for free. I didn't have to pay them.
Yep.
Well, no, they did it for $700 million. But yeah.
And still produced a piece of shit show.
Oh my God, yes. But anyways, let's actually get to our actual subject that we are going to talk about in this episode. Today, we are going to talk about She-Hulk Attorney at Law, episode 9. Finally, the last episode. Or is it the last episode?
I hope it is. There was a quick quirk in the near the end of the episode where he's like, see on the big screen, and she's like, really? And he's like, nope. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, so hopefully we will never see her in the big screen. But the question is this the last episode? Yes, for season 1, it is the last episode. There are rumors that season 2 has been confirmed. So,
how about canceled? Can we change the C word to canceled?
I would love to change it to canceled, but as of right now, these are rumors that there is going to be season 2. I hope not.
I don't understand. Like, when your ratings have plummeted and viewership has gone down, and like people are scrambling left, right, and center to be like, you'd think that they'd take the hint. Oh, maybe the show shouldn't continue.
Well, it looks like Amazon is also not taking the hint. So it's probably a trend now. If it's failing, it'll probably do better next season.
Well, hashtag we'll go broke. Maybe not. I don't know. They finally canceled Batwoman, so.
Yeah, that's Warner Brothers. They did a good thing.
FYI, for all the viewership, it's not misandry to be like, pointing out at various shows, specifically with women's leads, and being like, they're a crap show. We're all for various characters who are women being displayed and being presented as awesome, and like, but the criteria for that is that it has to have a good story, has to be something that like connects, aka like House of Dragons. All the actors are doing a fucking amazing job. Rhaenyra, the girl playing Rhaenyra, is amazing, both young and old.
Yeah.
Everybody, and then they actually have a story they're working on, and the dialogue is amazing. She-Hulk is a piece of trash, absolute rubbish.
Yeah, it is. It's absolute trash. Even Rings of Power, and yeah, Hot D is amazing. The reason is it's real. Look, yes, it's dragons and all that, so it's not real. But the thing is, the stakes are real. If you have a knife and you're doing a battle knife, most likely someone is going to lose an eye. Oh my God, Aemond lost an eye. It's like, you are pregnant, you're giving birth. Back then, there's a high possibility you would die. So everything is real in House of the Dragon. I remember when they killed Joffrey, the gay guy who Sir Christian Cole beat him with his hand. He beat his head. So the guy is gay, obviously, and everyone, like the woke, like, oh my God, how could you kill a gay character? You all homophobes and blah blah and all that. It's like, no, this is Game of Thrones world. Everyone is fucked. Men,
Everyone can
women,
die.
children, old people, straight, gay, doesn't matter what is your background, everyone is fucked.
But
Even civilians,
oh
even
yeah,
if you have nothing to do with the story, you are fucked because you are in this world.
yep.
That's it. And in She-Hulk, it's basically you can do whatever the fuck you want, because we do see later in the episode how everything goes all insane and bullshit, and then Jen breaks the fourth wall and she goes to Kevin like, yeah, we jumping way ahead, but she's like, yeah, no, I'm not happy with this ending, I want to change it. And like, okay, fine, we'll change your world, we will change the ending according to what you want. No, that's not real life. You get what you have what you get, that's it. Is everyone happy with their own life, how it turned out? A lot of people know.
I'm not even sure how meta like even accuracy to the comics. I don't know if she's broken the fourth wall that hard. Like that's God mode tier.
That is God mode tier. The thing is, okay, so I think I did see a picture of a comic where she did break the fourth wall that hard, but you have the multiverse, which is what MCU is focusing on right now.
Right.
Beyond the multiverse, you have the omniverse, and beyond the omniverse, you have the megaverse. The megaverse, are you ready? That is everything. That is MCU, that is DC, that is Harry Potter, that is Back to the Future, that is Lord of the Rings, that's House of the Dragon, that's Game of Thrones. And then you have the leader who is watching over the omniverse and everything else. And I forget his name, but I think his name is The One or whatever, or I forget his name. Anyways, he is the guy who is between all these universes to our real world. So
yeah,
what Jen did in this episode, she basically, like, yes, the Kevin that we saw over there is not the real Kevin Foggy. So it's a different multiverse Kevin. Where in that world, Kevin is a robot, but she basically almost got to the not megaverse, to the omniverse, to like the middle. I don't know. It was way too much of a fourth wall break for me. I don't know. I didn't like it, but whatever. It's a fucking stupid show, so I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get into it then.
Yeah, let's actually go back a bit to the beginning, where Jen is in prison because she went all She-Hulk, destroying a TV monitor that was viewing her sex tape without her consent, and therefore she's a bad guy for trying to protect herself. And that is what MCU is trying to tell us. If someone is filming you against your consent while you are naked and having sex, you are the bad guy for trying to stop them. They have the right to go, even if you don't give them consent whatsoever, and they send it to the world. You are the bad guy. So that is the message they're telling us. And she went for prison to this.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. But she goes to prison, and are you ready for the QR code of the day?
Yes. Where is the QR code of the day, Joel?
So, it's not really a QR code of the day, but there is a QR code of here. And also a Abomination, when he was in prison, he had the same QR code on the uniform, the prison uniform, on the neck collar over here. There is a QR code, but I'm not
center of the chest, everybody.
No, not the chest, but like the the neck,
the collar.
The collar, yeah. There is a QR code of the. I'm not sure if it's a QR code you can scan. It could be like a QR code.
It's there.
It is there, but I think that is more of a QR code for the the guards to scan the prisoner. There is later on in the episode an actual QR code of the day. We will get to that. But if you can scan that QR code, there's a QR code over there. I know she's in prison because she, defended herself by being a Hulk, and they give her a term of release, which is basically the same terms they give a Abomination to never turn into the Hulk. And we then later see how her life goes to shit, from being in prison to being fired to now having to be evicted from her house to go to live with her parents. So
Yep.
throughout this season, we start the show with this show takes place like not that long after Shang-Chi, and
Yep.
we end it. We don't know exactly when, but they don't give us a correct timeline. But we end it maybe before Moon Knight, after Hawkeye, like after Christmas. So basically, we start like let's say August 2024 and finish it, let's say February of 2023. I don't know. I'll give an example.
2025.
Yeah, sorry, 2025. Yeah, you're right. I'll
Sorry,
give an
it was just
example.
like, wow, I don't remember the time traveling part.
I'll give an example later in the episode where I could see how this timeline works. But anyways, she's been fired. She lives with her parents, and she wants to basically stop, intelligentsia. Finally, but the thing is, it's the end of the episode, and it's the last episode. And like I said, last episode is how high are the stakes? How is she going to stop it? The stakes at the end were not high at all, because she finally decides, you know what? Maybe Abomination, I keep forgetting his name. Maybe he will understand what's going on. In the meantime, her friend has a video of Jennifer while in college. Which, why the fuck would you show this?
From her mother.
Yeah, she got from
her mother. Showed it to her.
I know, but I'm saying, why would they show this to the audience? We see her basically dancing like with her PJs half on, and her thong is all the way up. Like, again, this is Disney. This is for kids, and you basically showing me like her thong all the way up. It's like, come on, guys! Like, this is not child appropriate. Like, this is not okay. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? God. But yeah.
Well, at least if anything, that it was definitely like a surprising, questionable subject matter that you'd be like, that was not expected to be shown in this. However, if I mean, like, look, if I don't want my kids twerking, so that like CG twerking scene was just like, so I don't know. It's kind of to be expected.
It is to be expected because, they already showed us twerking, but this is like, hey, you know what? Let's take a few layers down and like show you the underwear. It's like, fuck no. It's like, again, this is for kids. It's like, what is going to be the next thing? Like, we already saw like the video of Jen in bed that she later smashed. Like, we kind of saw her getting on top of a guy. Again, this is for kids.
Very sensual, yeah.
The
subject matters were mature to some extent, especially in the dating episodes. Like,
yeah,
especially like pulling a guy into a room and stuff. It's like, that's not appropriate. But
yeah,
in this day and age, you can sexualize kids and like teach them all sorts of things. So
yeah, and get away with it. Yeah, I want to make it clear, I'm not okay with sexualizing kids, you fucking pedophiles.
Neither am I. Hopefully that was the point.
Yeah, this is the point, that we are not okay with this. But anyways, yeah, so Jen decides to go to Abomination because he's the only one who understands what she's going through. Bruce Banner.
She goes specifically to see the one guy.
Again, the one guy who can help her, because Bruce Banner is MIA. Nowhere to be found.
No one's returning her calls.
Yeah. In the meantime, her friend is uploading the
college video to the intelligentsia to get a foot in.
And then she got invited to the intelligentsia, but she's a woman, so the male lawyer needs to go. So he goes instead, and for some reason, no one noticed, like, he has a big fucking earbud in his ear and he's talking to someone. It's like, what you can't really hide.
People walk around with their cell phone device, but yes, he was blatantly, obviously talking. It was hard to be like, but who are you talking to?
Yeah, but when you go to a secret meeting, it's like, it's very easy to see it. Like, obviously, when you're walking down the street, you won't notice it, but in a secret meeting, you should notice it. Yeah. So they go over there, and then we see Abomination. And here came like a theory that I said earlier in the, episodes. Well, maybe Abomination is evil, and the episode where Jen was fighting with everyone. You remember
Yeah.
that? So like, okay, maybe
Yep.
Abomination is actually in all of this and all that. And we see him
Yep.
like, oh my god, I was right. They will only delay it. But then we see like, oh no, you came here
No,
to.
clearly it's been misformed.
Yeah, it's like, fuck. He was misformed, but yeah, like you said earlier to me, that you were now okay with it, that he turned to Abomination because stuff.
I wasn't okay with him being being Abomination. I felt like the way they showed his character was that he would be decent enough not to be this character, and then somehow he was convinced to be hyped to be like, oh, it'd be really great if he showed you as Abomination talking to all of us guys. Like, I feel like his character wouldn't be like a dumb idiot and be like, oh yeah, no, it's like that's against my parole. Like, I can't do that, because clearly his monitor would go off and then there would be police there within like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it does not make any sense why he would do that, and especially
Well, the whole episode starts to break down at this point.
Yeah, at this point, the entire episode starts to break down. But right before we get into it, yes, it does not make sense why he would do it, especially for something that is not important. Like, he's not in danger. I can understand if he was in danger, he would do it.
Maybe.
But to be like, yeah, I'm gonna turn to the Abomination to inspire people so they would be good. It's like, yeah, that's not a reason. Like, what the fuck? But yeah. Jennifer gets over there. She sees the Abomination. I keep forgetting his name, but she freaks out. He turns back to normal. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, here's Jennifer. We stole your blood, and you don't deserve it." And everything starts to unravel. And she finally catches on to what is going on over here. And I have to say, I did laugh when the bad guy quotes, took the needle and stuck the blood inside him, and you see how he turned into the Hulk, and he has his hands up above his head. Like, oh, I don't know why. I was laughing. That was the only part in this show that I laughed my ass off. He looked funny.
Yeah, he looked funny. For me, I was just like sitting in my chair, deeply like back in my chair, unamused, just because it's like, it was established at the very beginning of the season that Hulk blood is dangerous, but only the Banners have the genetic capacity to deal with the gamma mutation.
Yeah.
He says that specifically. And so the inference is that anybody who takes this shit will either die, get mutated into something crazy, or whatever. And so we see it, it was synthesized, da-da-da-da-da. He puts it in. There's nobody with exterior knowledge that would know that the blood isn't compatible with anybody else. So when you're synthesizing it, they wouldn't have made something to be like, this can be a generic form for everybody. And then he stabs it. I was expecting him to turn into a blob of mush of angry, like what do you call it? Cronenberg mess.
Oh, yeah.
Like the mouths appearing and then like whatever. I'm like, okay, because like there's stake in that, and that's very dangerous. And then she has to fight that and understand like, at the same time, maybe somebody takes the briefcase and runs off, because I think there was more vials or something. And maybe Abomination helps her and whatever. It was like, okay, it's a lame ending, but maybe. And then no, he's talking normally. He's like, I'm so whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, Jen gets it because she's a woman and she has to deal with this type of shit all the time in order for her to like combine and become intelligent She-Hulk. Like, Bruce Banner took years in order to master this combination. This guy gets it within a split second. He's like already normal, and I'm just like, how did you lose any sense of the lore or like understanding of like what this is? Like, what the actual fuck? Also, why is he green? He could have been any other color, like, because again, changes in mutation, whatever, something interesting. But no, another Hulk. And it's like, anyways,
So about why is he green? Apparently, and I did not know this, but the internet throughout this show has been
Mm.
theorizing that we are going to see the Red Hulk. And
Right.
when he put the needle on him, a lot of people were expecting he would become the Red Hulk.
Right.
But he did not become the Red Hulk. It is confirmed that someone else is going to be the Red Hulk. I will get into that later into the episode when I gonna give our stuff of the day.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah, all of a sudden we have Bruce Banner jumping, and we have a
Yeah.
Titania
Bruce Banner
coming.
falls in. Titania comes in.
Everyone is like coming out of nowhere, and we have Jennifer talking to the audience. Is this what you want? Like, what the heck is happening? Is this really the kind of ending we all thought is going to happen? And over here, she is breaking the fourth wall entirely. We see the Disney Plus app, menu,
Yeah,
and
she like literally breaks the fourth wall.
yeah, she literally breaks the fourth wall. And over here comes my theory of the timeline. We do
Because
know,
there's some shots.
yeah, we see over there a few not TV shows. We see over there a few MCU shows and movies, and this is my theory. As the director did tell us, this show takes place not that far after Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which takes place in 2024, which means this show takes place after Shang-Chi, so 2024. The thing is, we don't know how long this show is. For us, it's 9 weeks, but for them, it could be like a few months. So,
Yep.
according to Disney, after D23 Comic-Con thing, whatever it was, so they announced that She-Hulk takes place after Hawkeye and before Moon Knight, which means sometime like let's say February, January of 2025. So if that is true, you're telling me you're going according to the last episode. So let's say from August, Shang-Chi 2024 until 2025 February, I can see that according to this menu. According to this menu, we do see Thor, Ragnarok. We do see Shang-Chi. We do see Loki. We do see What If. We do not see Moon Knight. We do not see Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. We do not see Miss Marvel. And we do not see Thor Love and Thunder. If you go right now to the Disney menu, Disney Plus menu, you will see those movies and TV shows over there. But because we didn't see them, so I can agree with that this show takes place around that time period. Yeah, that was my little theory. But anyways, she then goes into the menu, into a specific show that is called Assemble. This is an actual show where after a show or a movie ends, they will put on Disney Plus, how did we make this movie? And like behind the scenes of this show and all that. So she goes over there, which puts her in the real world. And we see like the Disney parks or whatever. And
There's a little snippet about that. Is that she walks out into the world and she is fully real, and nobody throughout her interaction with them is freaking out that she's actually alive.
Yeah, they could maybe
it's
they could maybe think it's like you know how you have in Disney parks you have like Mickey Mouse. It's like, oh, it's maybe
but
someone
not
in
like
a costume.
that.
Yeah, no, I agree
Let's
with you.
just assume she like walks out fully. But there's also a bit of a circular aspect about it, because it's like she kind of comes out into our world, but she comes out into a completely different. She's not in our world because Kevin Feige is a robot in this case, but she comes out and it's like, okay, the show's Marvel is being made. She comes to a world where this is all being fabricated. And it's like, okay, there's a chance for her to meet her actress or whatever, and things of that nature, because it's like the substance of what is made as a show wasn't really like seen. We didn't see like behind the scenes where she's like literally walking behind another Jennifer Walters being like filmed, doing a scene of She-Hulk where there's like a 2-on-2 double take, kind of like, what the fuck? So it puts into question. Now, this is a strange theory. Like, I don't follow this, and I'm kind of like coming up with it on the go. But it's like this universe is like, if they make movies here, it becomes a reality. You know what I mean? It's not like a meta. Like, hold on, like it's not even like a meta where she like hopped out and like walked past the set and like revealed like all the cameras and stuff filming all this and like went to the director's board and showed like this is all fake. She
Mhm.
hopped out of the universe into a verse that is making this. And it's a little mind-boggling, a little weird, but it's like the parameters and what that means, like it really changes everything. Oh, for me, it personally lessened the value or the stakes that I put into watching these movies, because again, there's just some overmined world that is just making movies, and this is just what's happening, and people can appear and whatever for no reason because it's the whim of Kevin or whatever, which we'll
Yeah,
get into just a little bit later in the reveal.
yeah, we will get a little bit to that. It is because she entered a different reality, not our reality. You could say like our reality is like the fifth wall, as so to say, because she broke the fourth wall. But like, obviously, that's not the real world because we are our world is the one that created that world. So,
Yeah.
but what I did think would have been amazing. Have you seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? How you
Yeah.
have like
Yeah.
the
Toon World.
yeah, the tune and real people all together. It would have been nice to see like in the background, you see as she's walking,
Something like that. Other
something like
things.
that. Yeah, that'd be like
Interesting.
that. I would like, I would have
That would have
appreciated
helped
that.
me suspend my disbelief, because
Yeah,
again, like everybody, she's walking around and people are like, oh, She-Hulk, like they recognize her. But
yeah.
again, if she's just a movie, people should be freaking out, like maybe not even recognizing her. She goes to the excuse me, that's how bad the show is. She goes into the writing room where they're like hashing out the finale.
So
Like almost, it is almost kind of like a time jump back because it's already happening,
yeah,
which is weird. But she goes in, nobody's freaking out. Again, they're like, oh, She-Hulk. They're like treating her as if she's like somebody. So I don't get the mentality about that. And then they have this really horribly written dialogue about the whole thing, and then it gets to no one sees Kevin. What
yeah.
the
So
fuck?
right before they actually go into the writing room, we have the QR code of the day.
Hey, bam, bam, bam. Oh wait, and it's no, not this one. It's this one. Q code of the day. There we go.
So as she's sneaking around, we have a guy leaving the writing room, and she holds the
Mhm.
door open and she goes in. On that door is written She-Hulk Attorney at Law. There is a QR code over there that you can scan and get a free comic book that you can read online.
Hey.
Yeah. What is the comic book? I have no idea. I did not scan it, but I do know you can get a free comic book. Anyways, yeah. So she goes to the writer's room. There was one person that was kind of freaking out, but not insane. Whatever. One of the writers is
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you go to Kevin. It's like, oh, okay, weird. But then she
Yeah,
goes and she
super weird
doesn't
because
stop.
like no, if they all recognize her,
Yeah.
even the security guards and everything, it's like if you know who she is, you know what she's capable of. They even belittling her, and it's like,
Not only that, if you wrote her, you know how strong she is. If I'm gonna write a character who's invincible and can never die, I'm not gonna come like, and all of a sudden I see him come to life. I'm not gonna come like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. It's like I can't kill you because now you're in the real world. Unless if the only way to kill you is to erase what I wrote, that's it. But
again, the system was really weird. Like
yeah,
nothing was established. But anyways,
yeah. So she goes into she gets to Kevin. She writes a whatever that she can. I forget the name of that contract. She gets attacked by
yeah, NDA.
NDA. Yeah, she gets attacked by gods. Air quotes. They don't look like gods at all. And then she gets to Kevin, and over there we see a matrix kind of thing where you have
Yeah, the architect room.
the architect room. Yeah, You have all the screens, and you see all the amazing Marvel movies of, the Infinity Saga. And that's like, this is the prime of MCU. Everything after the Infinity Saga, there are some good stuff, but most of them is trash. And, and malasot. But yeah, we get a Wally
Nothing to be
kind
done about
of
it.
robot evil guy.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Portal, the Portal games
I
kind of got
I
a
I do know the Portal games, never played them. So
like the computer at the end has that kind of similar suspension system.
yeah, so I give the example of Wally, the movie, because on the ship,
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Similar
so
Gladys, whatnot.
yeah, so we see basically a robotic Kevin with 3 cameras. What was funny over there, they put a hat on him that says Kevin.
I thought that was funny. Yeah,
Yeah, whoever sees Kevin
it's
Foggy's,
Kevin's hat.
it's Kevin. He's mostly with a hat on, which I don't
Yeah.
know why, but that's funny. They put a hat on him. Um, how about you take this? You go ahead, Moses. Tell us what we see
Mm.
here. Tell us your frustration.
All right. Okay. So
Deep breath.
we have Jennifer Walters walk in, establish that her connection and understanding who this Kevin is. Kevin starts to give some exposition, some architect like, I'm the designer, we make perfect things, it's better than the other, everything, everything's perfect, though some things
I'll
are
correct you. Nearly perfect.
nearly perfect. Yeah. Well, it's still high enough praise. Nearly perfect is basically perfect. And like so minor like meta jabs at like critics and like the word of mouth that's going on about the Marvel series. And then they get into this dialogue where she's like, I don't want this to end like this. And he's like, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. I whatever. And she's like, well, like she's trying to figure it out, like whatever, like how can I like push around this? And then she goes and breaks down the quote unquote meta of Marvel. I don't think she did it accurately. However, there were some fun jabs, like everyone has daddy issues, every da da da, like she basically breaks down the plot or the algorithmic formulation of every Marvel film, which is, again, like I said, more or less accurate. And I thought that was funny. But again, like this whole meta jab, like it just starts to really shape things like weirdly. And so, and then she starts like trying to, how would you say, argue or put in to a certain point like, hey, I wanted the show to end this like entitled, like this is how it should go, the Abomination should be self accountable, and like there shouldn't be. Okay, so here's the thing that's the meta that ruins the whole show as well. I mean, the show is already really fucked, but she's like, there's no blood stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So therefore, none of that actually happened. None of any of the essential parts that were actually trying to propel the story forward ever happened.
Yeah.
And so therefore, the whole show was actually literally nothing happening because she didn't do anything with her gifts. And then she has the Abomination revert back to his normal form to be accountable. She jettisons, she gets rid of the Hulk appearing, which is fine, because again, that whole catastrophe of an ending was the point, that it wasn't actually ending and too formulaic. And so she's like, okay, and then she's like, and brings in Daredevil selfishly back. So whatever his important thing was, why he left, nope, not anymore.
Yeah.
So I can imagine him in the mid of, like, let's say whatever. Let's be super meta here. Let's say the next season or like the new Daredevil stuff that comes out, he literally is like, we're in the middle of the stuff and they're building the climax, and all of a sudden he goes and he's gone. And then the next episodes play out.
That'd be funny to see if that actually happens.
I mean, I doubt they would be that attentive, but at the same time, that's literally what happens. I mean, obviously we can play the next season much after the event, but the thing is that can happen now. And well, it just it changes the world, like consequences of, like, okay, well, does the crime still continue? The thing that Daredevil was investigating or needing to to go back to Hell's Kitchen for, like the big thing, because he said it, oh, it's work stuff, but when he says that, that means
Daredevil
something
stuff.
more. Yeah. And then and so he just suddenly pops out of the sky as they're starting to have this like final resolve. Also, they made a jab at the CGI, like it's cheaper for us to whatever. So now there's an economy thing going on that's meta and funny, but not really, because it's like, well, we don't give a fuck. We want to see like a good product, but at the same time, like, okay,
Yep.
she agrees with Kevin, and they have a whatever. I forget what she says to convince him to, like, we can make a better ending or whatever. But I think that point pissed me off.
She doesn't say anything to convince him. She just says like, this is my show and I'm not happy with this. And it's like, okay, I will recalculate the ending. You know what, everything you told me, I will calculate it and see how it goes. But I'm gonna go back a bit and comment on a few things that you said. Yes. So now the whole blood, stealing thing, completely useless. She did
Never
mention, are we going to see the X-Men? And he's like, no comment about that. Which is like, okay.
Yeah, that was a funny jab.
That was a funny jab. And she like looks at the audience. I'm looking up for you guys. So yeah, that was funny. The whole turn back to Jennifer because you are expensive. So as we can see, the CGI over here is horrible. The reason the CGI is horrible is because MCU, they don't have their own CGI people, apparently. They use like third party, and they were like rushing them, like, okay, come on, we need to finish this. And because of that, a lot of the workers were not happy. There were a lot of them quitting and being fired or not paying so much attention to the CGI. And there were actually, like in our actual world, real world, there were a lot of articles about this. So them making a joke about this is, we ran out of money.
That's underhand.
Yeah, it's basically commenting about that, about all that happened. What was also funny, well, it wasn't funny, but she says she Hulk smashes this smash, and I smash Matt Murdock. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Typical BS thing. I don't
and that's
think
the thing. Matt is a strong character and has good like will and is emotionally intuitive. The fact that they've made him kind of a puppet in this series and like bow to the whims of Jennifer, like I'm okay again, like okay, love interest, maybe there's similarities, there's things going on that it could be good, but then like when she made that comment, I was just like,
yeah,
ooh, it felt like a low blow.
It was a low blow. I will also comment about that. You said we might see something like this again. I don't think we will see something like this again, because Kevin did say we fixed
this was
a little the patch. So I don't think Jennifer will ever be able to do this ever again, unless if Deadpool, because we do know Deadpool will come, unless if he does something like that or even greater. But yeah, I don't think we will see that. But anyways, she then is sent back to her world, and she deals with everything. Daredevil jumps out of the sky, out of nowhere, literally
out of the sky, just
yeah. And the bad guy, I keep forgetting his name, he's sent to prison. And Abomination is also being sent back to prison for 10 years. He also signed a contract.
Yep.
And eventually Daredevil and Jen, they go to her family for a barbecue, and they all laugh. One of her cousins, uncles, whatever, his wife was hitting on Matt Murdock, and the guy's like, come here, wife, help me with the barbecue. And he looks at her like all pissed off, like, dude, the guy is blind. He can't see what, like, really, like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, I do. Oh no. So then we get like, oh my God, this actually happened. My theory, which I did say all the way back in episode 1, if I'm not mistaken, it could have been episode 2, about Bruce Banner and why was he going to space?
Yeah.
So my theory was, because of Thor Ragnarok, he was the Hulk for 2 years, and over there, one sec, and over there he
How long
was.
did Thor Ragnarok happen before?
Avengers Age of Ultron happened in 2015, and Thor Ragnarok happened in 2017. During those 2 years, Bruce Banner was the Hulk for 2 years in the planet Sakaar, and we don't know what actually happened in that entire 2 years. We now found out that Hulk Bruce Banner has a son. And I did say this theory, that I have this theory all the way back in episode 1, or if you want to listen, episode 10 of the podcast, or episode 12 of the podcast, somewhere over there. Anyways, that Bruce Banner during those 2 years has a son. Now, okay, so let's say his son was born in 2016. Okay. 2016, we are now in the year 2025. Like I said, with the timeline, we are in the year 2025. Let's assume that his son was not evaporated or dusted from Thanos' snap. So it's essentially, let's say, what, 15 years, more or less?
Yeah, plus minus, yeah, like a little less.
What, 10 years? Yeah, about 15, yeah. 50, yeah, it's about 10 years. So he should be 10. He should not look as old as he does. Well,
yeah, he looks like a teenager.
Exactly. Well, Sakaar is a different planet, and they did say, I think in Thor Ragnarok, they did say that time does move differently over there at some point in the scene. So that gives this thumbs up that
time is relative with space and whatever, so it's all good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I was right about Bruce Banner having a son, and that was the entire his storyline, which honestly I would have preferred to see that over this bullshit of a show. His son,
the fact that they had like him not we didn't have the reaction of him meeting his son or finding out that information, or seeing like what the events that transpired, any flashbacks or anything. Like it kind of felt very empty, like seeing the reveal. I mean, I wasn't quite sure. I kind of was with your theory, but like at the same time, like I left it for whatever, because who knows. And then when Kevin is like, oh, but the Hulk is critical because we were going to reveal, and then she cuts him off. It's like, okay, you were right. And then it actually happened, and I wasn't surprised. I was just like, okay, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's I'm glad that one of my theories were right, because I did have multiple theories in this show, and most of them were wrong. Well, all of them were wrong except for this. Well, one of my biggest theories was this show is shit, and I'm accurate about that.
100%. The thing is with Sakaar, the last time we saw it was that the Grandmaster.
Yeah, the Grandmaster. Yeah,
he was deposed, and now what? We don't know anything that's happened with Sakaar. What if they're still doing the same? But when we see Spear,
his name is Scar.
Scar.
Yeah, like Lion King.
Like Lion King. Yeah.
Horrible movie. Scar, horrible movie. I'm saying this out loud. Lion King is a horrible movie. Yes, continue.
All right. No comment. We see Scar. He's pretty buffed up. I mean, obviously he's a Hulk, but he seems pretty like, I don't know. I feel like he's going to be one who's going to be combating Hercules in the later whatever is going to be revealed. It just feels natural that way in some extent, especially because, I mean, again, Disney. I don't know how accurate all this is, and especially since Marvel's not related, but Hercules fights a lion, Scar is a lion, but that's obviously not it. But I just feel like it would be a very weird coincidence, the fact that is also a thing. But so seeing him, and he looked very teenager-ish, very like, I don't know, shy, not like, it was very strange after living on a very exotic world. So I was like,
well, I don't know. Is it exotic? Most likely he was a slave to being a gladiator.
I don't think so, because the last thing is the people rose up, ? And nobody would have reached out to Bruce and be like, hey, this is your son. Like,
Well,
You know what I
they
mean? If he was just a slave.
I think they would, because they did come like, hey, this is your son. We like, I don't know.
We'll get
Maybe
some backstory eventually.
eventually. I hope we will. We don't
All right,
know.
you say he's a slave. I'm gonna say he's not. We're gonna hold on to that and see who's right.
Yeah, we will see in the future.
Mm.
But Kevin told us, we will not see. I hope we won't see Jen in the big screen. And what do we have next? So next, obviously, for this year, and the
Oh,
project.
you also forgot before that the show actually ends on an end scene with
Oh yeah,
the abomination being taken by Juan to Kamertage. I have problems with that on many levels. I don't understand it. I don't understand why Juan would do that. I mean, obviously he's above the law more or less, but like at what point did Abomination like reach out and tell him, "Hey, I don't actually want to stay here"? It kind of also goes against his character that they've set up, that he's kind of become this hippie guy who's willing to be self-accountable and whatever, especially since the meta was that Jen said that he would be accountable. Therefore, like his archetype would specifically be this: I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to stay in jail for 10 years. Like it's written by the word of God.
yeah.
And now he's in prison, and Juan shows up and he's like, "Oh, you took your sweet time." And he's like, talking about accommodations, Wi-Fi, and all that shit. And it's like, okay. And now
Which
we're gonna have to have like some meta show to try and like get them back to prison or whatever.
which for me was funny that he commented, "Do you have any Wi-Fi, dude? Your sanctuary
Doctor
area did
Strange.
not
Yeah.
have Wi-Fi." And
Yeah.
now, and you told Jennifer, like, you need to get off your phone. You don't need to be connected. Like, let go of the Wi-Fi. And the first thing you ask, do you have Wi-Fi? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That was
They
stupid.
haven't shown a thing where his character's mentality is like, you know what, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have my 10 wives anymore. This was all bullshit.
Yeah. Obviously, the reason why he's no longer in prison, well, is because we are going to see him in the movie Thunderbolts, which is the anti-Avengers, basically, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
guess.
But yeah, I think it was stupid to put him in prison just to put him out of prison, and basically make one a bad person for
Yeah. It shuns
helping.
his character.
It does. It ruins his character and his background, and I don't know. I'm not happy about that. But
Like Juan
whatever.
hasn't said anything to show like why he's taking him back. Why? Like the fighting thing happened a while ago,
Mhm.
And then he doesn't, and that was to prove himself as, or the ending stage to be their trials for being the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't need that anymore. He's already the Sorcerer Supreme. So why is he assisting him? Like there's no like, hey, you still owe me a favor kind of line thrown under. There was just like, oh, okay.
I don't know. It was a stupid thing that they did, but
Yep.
I do believe we end the show. We finally have nothing to talk about this show, but I still have a few things I would like to talk about. That
Absolutely. But a final rating for the show.
a final rating for the show. Let's go with that. 2.3.
Man, yeah, I think you nailed it. I was gonna be generous and say just a solid 3, but yeah, that feels about right. 2.3. Concurred. 2.3 out of 10. This show is trash.
This show is trash. Yeah, it definitely is. I do not recommend to see it any time again, ever again. Just don't.
It's only there to establish that ultimately who we actually care about, the Hulk, has a son, and
Basically watch episode
Daredevil's
1,
back.
watch episode 1, a little bit of episode 2, then watch episode 8, and the ending of episode 9.
Yeah,
that's it.
Basically, that's it. That's what.
Yeah,
less than an hour of your life.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I do have a few things I do want to talk about that are about our world, that are affecting or are around or surrounding this specific subject, She-Hulk, but not specifically She-Hulk. Anyways, we are now at the end of phase 4. The next project is the Black Panther that will come out sometime
November.
in November. Let's see.
The 23rd, I think.
It comes out, in November 23rd, sometime over there.
Yep. I'm excited. I like what's going on there.
I do. I did hear that there's going to be a timeline problem. So when is it going to take place? I don't know. Yeah, but moving on. There are obviously other movies and shows during phase 5 and phase 6 that have been delayed. Some of them have been delayed by a few months. Some of them have been delayed by a year and a half.
Wasn't Quantum supposed to come out for like a while ago?
Quantumania?
Yeah, Ant-Man.
I think that comes out in February of 2023. But no, what was delayed is Blade. The reason that was delayed is because something happened with the director. He quit or whatever. I'm not really sure, but the movie Blade has been delayed.
That means it's gonna be trash. I've never seen a switch mid director mid movie that wasn't garbage. So
no, they haven't started shooting yet.
Oh, never mind.
So yeah,
all right.
Avengers: Secret Wars that was supposed to come in November, if I'm not mistaken, of 2025, has been delayed also by like a year and a half. A few other projects that have not been announced have been delayed. And also, what was delayed? Let's see. I think Thunderbolts. Oh no, Blade. Yeah, Blade was delayed. So yeah. So that's that. Then we have another announcement. So obviously we have Captain America: New World Order, and in Captain America: New World Order, we are obviously going to see the Israeli actress that is going to be the Sabra, but we are also expected to see General Ross in Captain America: New World Order. The only problem
Same actor?
Yeah, that's the problem. The actor who played General Ross is William Hurt, who passed away, if I'm not mistaken, earlier this year. So
fuck. I was gonna say he's old, but I didn't know he was dead. Fuck.
Yeah, no, he's dead. And according to the comics, he is supposed to be Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So they did announce that someone else is gonna pick up the mantle and replace him.
Fair enough, but here's the real question. Red Hulk becomes the Red Hulk because of the blood thing. So if now that doesn't exist, it's gonna have to be done all over again. Or they can't just say, oh, we got a vial from whatever, because that never happened.
Yeah, we will see how they're gonna fix that problem. But do you want to know who's going to be the new General Ross and replace William Hurt?
Did we already know who it is?
Oh yeah, we already know.
Well, this show is spoilers, obviously. So obviously,
I will give you a hint with the music. Okay. Dun, 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 dun,
Harrison Ford.
Yes, Harrison Ford.
It must be. You know what? Not a bad choice.
Yeah.
The real question is if Harrison Ford will actually care about this role or not, because that will infer his energy. However, seeing Harrison in an interesting role, and he's old too, so I don't know. I have questions. A man is more likely to die by his own plane again than before finishing the MCU. So I don't. I can't say like I'm super invested in that, but I like Harrison, and I will definitely. You know who they should have got?
Who?
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid sounds familiar. I need a picture.
Did you see Parent Trap? With
yes, I
Mary
did.
Jane. Yeah. So he was the father.
Okay, yeah.
He also played in Flight of the Phoenix as the pilot or one of the pilots.
He's a good actor. I don't really. I think Harrison Ford would do a better job.
I know they're all old at this point, so
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like Quaid has a little more charm and
yeah.
more energy to be, and has an interesting voice. Harrison, I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna play it. It's gonna be interesting because
He
Harrison's very
will
typecast.
he will have to surprise us because the guy William Hurt has been an amazing General Ross. Like he
Yeah, to be honest, I
perfectly
had no
fits.
problems with him.
Like
Yeah,
he
he's like a
perfectly
J.
fits
Jonah
that character.
Jameson of this general character for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be amazing how Harrison Ford will pick up this mantle and honor at the same time the other William Hurt, because it's not like he quit from that job. He passed away. So
He dead.
he
He done
did.
did.
Yeah, but
I look forward to. Well, here's the real question: will that throw people off because of like, are we in a different dimension, or is there like a timeline, or
no, I don't think it'll be a different name, because again, this is the World 616. General
yeah?
Ross, we did see
Well,
him
it's
in
okay. We've
other
already
projects.
switched War Machine once, so and carried on, so same
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
My real question, I guess, will go to how they will portray how did the Black Panther originally die, like
I
in world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think they are going to, in their world, they are going to talk about it, because in the trailers we do have the Queen Mother who does say, like, I have left with like nothing. Like, you have your fucking daughter, but she does say, my husband is dead. Now my son is dead. It's like,
Yeah,
so
and we see a funeral. The dancing and the stuff is a funeral scene.
yeah, so
100%.
I do believe they are going to announce, or show us
Honor him in
yeah.
some in on scene, which I think is awesome. But at the same time, like it'll be from the story point of view, like be a little odd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a
How to say
theory.
mad respect
Oh,
to
yeah. Yeah, the actor he did an amazing job.
he did all of that while suffering through all this, and he was silent. No one knew.
Yeah,
No one knew.
no one knew. He did an amazing job. Chadwick Boseman. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job. And yeah, sadly he did die to cancer. I am going to give a theory of how his character is going to die in the show, or in the movie to be more accurate. And battle. He died like battling someone.
It will
Probably.
be a shame to have that off screen. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if they set that up
Mhm.
that it happened, then technically that would be the big bad of the movie or whatever, because
Yeah.
that's revenge substance. Like we need to get this guy, but
Yeah.
unless they set it up that it was somehow Nemo.
Yeah, we will have to see how they set that up. I am excited to see that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Nemo's an interesting character. I mean, seeing him fly around with his little winged feet is
that
kind of
was
like
stupid.
of all the adaptations that you could have like
No,
made and you still kept that.
yeah, you're not Achilles.
Just let him fly.
Yeah.
We get flying people. People have flying powers. Let it happen. Winged feet looks dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it does. And I think he has 2 wings, not 4 wings, like on each side of his ankles. It's
Yeah.
like
Very
really,
seraphim.
like those are very small wings. I'd be okay with you having 4 wings, one on each side of the foot.
Yeah, because it's clearly not the wings lifting him. That's like that would be ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
that, it's clearly magically oriented. It's just don't do it with the wings. It's just such a dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb, but yeah, I
But I think he looks good.
he does.
Like Nemo's always been a weird character in the comics, and I never really connected. But seeing him portrayed real life, I was like, ooh, like
Mhm.
that's fucking intense. I'm down to see who this guy is.
Yeah, I do. I don't know anything about Namor other than the fact that he is MCU, like Marvel Aquaman. That's it. That's the only thing I know.
They're so different, man. Come on.
Yeah. But I do believe we got to the end of our episode for today.
Hey.
Yeah. we have officially finished talking about She-Hulk, unless if there is season 2, which I hope there won't be. But if there will be, we will most likely talk about She-Hulk season 2. With that, I do believe we got to the end of our episode of this podcast. And I am your host, Joel. And with us
We're
today,
not Moses.
Moses Moon.
It's me.
So we talked about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, episode 9, the last episode of this season. And I'm gonna
Hopefully the last
Hopefully
ever.
the last, unless if we have season 2. I'm gonna put the links of my Hebrew podcast and Moses Radio Instagram on the bio, down in the bio. Go over there, check it out. Give us 5 stars on Spotify. We are spoilers, obviously, and we'll catch you guys up on the next episode. Bye.
See you on the flip side.